Good evening, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is our technical analysis review of the Chinese Shanghai Index tonight and some China stocks. And we'll talk about the U.S. market also. Today is Wednesday, January 15th, 2014. So on to the first chart, the Dow Industrials today up 108 points on top of the nice move we had yesterday. So here we are closing above the high of, let's see, that's 16,481. So we've closed above the high of the last six closing days, actually. So it's the highest close of the last 6 closing days. So nice move. We're back closing above the 10-day exponential moving average. It looks like we are trying to push higher. And the S&P 500, I drew this line yesterday, and it is pushed above it. We are still, I'd like to see the RSI push higher here, but it's not unusual when you're coming out of a little correction to have this type of a situation. So DI plus is pushed back above DI minus on this move, so that's good news. So that's good. So we'll see where this goes. That's good, I guess, if you're long, which we'll have to see. Most of the stocks have been kind of moving in that direction. I want to move on to the Shanghai Index here real quick. Now here's one where the Shanghai is not going up; it is going down. It continues down another last 5 days. So we looked at this last Wednesday. So let's say a week ago. When was this? The 9th. So the 8th. Here was the close on Wednesday the 8th. And since then, it continued to push down lower. Okay, we had this pennant formation in here. We're definitely, the moving averages, everything is just solidly down. Basically at a 45-degree angle. Pretty negative. Now, in areas of support, we have a lot of trading coming in here, a lot of activity. Not sure how the volume is showing up. It wasn't exceptionally high. It wasn't anything like over in here, but that doesn't mean any. Sometimes it makes all the difference in the world, and sometimes it doesn't. So we'll have to see if we start to get some support as we get down in here. We may be getting it right in here now in this area. And so we'll have to see if we start to turn around. Okay, so that's the Shanghai Composite. So China still doesn't have their market turning around yet. Okay, the first stock I want to look at in the travel and leisure sector is C-Trip. This is one we've been following for quite a while. This is one we're trading options on. A very active stock. The average volume is the 50-day average volume is over 4 million shares. I can put this back over here. That will help you understand. You'll see the very bottom where it says MA. That's 4.081. So that's 4 million shares is the 50-day moving average. The volume today was 5.9 million. Okay, so now when I look at this stock, it's been pulling back ever since it looked like we had a 5 waves up on C-Trip. And I'm calling it wave 1. I mean, if you look at it from a grand scheme of things, it's been pretty volatile. It's been around since 2003. Up, down, up, down. Honestly, I don't know. I call this point 0 just because it was a very low point of the last 3 to 4 years. So using that as a focal point, we then said, okay, we had this first wave, which was kind of a leading diagonal wave, which is a little unusual, but we do get them in the first wave. Pull back 2, 3, 4, pull back, and then this move 5. So that's my best analysis of the wave count on this stock. We've got this big gap in here that occurred that in this pullback looks like it just got filled. Okay, so the real question, I put this in here that I closed the gap. So the real question is going to be is it going to continue to go down further or not? Now, a lot of times from an Elliott wave perspective, if this is truly wave 4, the corrections will occur down to wave 4, down into wave 4. So there's a real good chance we could still keep moving down in here. Now you notice this downward trend line channel I have here. This is the downward trend line. and I drew a parallel line to that, and I drew it before we actually hit here. And so it's kind of interesting. We've come right down into it. Now here's the 200-day too. So we could start to get some support from being down around the 200-day, having completed the gap. So we'll just have to see whether we start to get any turnaround action. But right now, it's pretty solidly down. Am I seeing any divergence? No. It went to a lower low on the RSI, and no divergence showing up there either. So that's it on C-Trip. Now, Tuna Air is the next one I'm going to look at, and I hopefully pronounced that correctly. Where is it? There we go. Tuna Air. Now, I'm going to thank Gary Chow for this. Gary Chow is one of my subscribers, and Gary suggested this to me, and apparently this is, it's in the travel and leisure space. It is a subsidiary of Baidu. So this stock, I'm going to move this out of here, even though it's kind of helpful. I'm going to move it out. All right. It looks like it came public here on November 1st. There's a lot of volume, and the average, the 50-day volume is 960,000 shares, so almost 1 million shares. I haven't done anything with this, but it's going to be interesting to watch and see how this develops over time. You can see there's definitely getting quite a bit of movement in here. But I thought I'd just throw this one out so we can start to follow it and take a look at it. By the way, Tuna Air, Gary tells me, it means where are you going? So that's kind of in Chinese. It's kind of interesting. Thanks, Gary, for that. The next one I want to look at is Home Inns Hotel Management. Okay. This is HMIN. Now, here's one. Let me take a look, see how long. Okay, this has been trading since 2006. And you can see it's been fairly volatile. It got whacked pretty good in the 2008, 2009, like a lot of stocks did. Now, so what's it doing now? It's moved up. It looked like, I saw this when I looked at this a little earlier today, possible head and shoulders, and then it didn't break down out of this head and shoulders, and it broke up through it. And so it, if you draw a trend line from the head across the top here, you can see it broke right through this in this move right here. So it has continued to come up. Now this looks to me like a potential broadening formation. Okay, whenever you start to see these 5 points that, a lower, higher, higher, and then it came down in this first initial move, and this is like a 5A. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5A came about halfway down, pulled back up, and now it's come down. It broke this trend line. Now, the real completion of this move, or signifies when it breaks this point, and then it will go typically the width of this further. So really would take it probably down here around the 200-day moving average. So that's my best shot on that one. And the last one to take a look at is China Lodging Group. This one has been trending very nicely. If you look at the entire trading on this one since 2010, this is the previous high. And it took out the previous high here just last month in December, right here on this move, December 23rd. So it's been moving up very nicely, little pullbacks, and I'm not really, even on this move, I don't see any divergence of significance. So it's kind of neat to see that. Not really there even. I think I'd like to see it a little bit closer in terms of a shorter time frame, on the divergence. But anyway, this is looking good. But the volume on this one's 300,000, and as is the last one, hotel management. It's a little light. I'd like to see for trading options. I want more liquidity. I have to look to see if the options how they're trading on this. I'm typically looking for stocks with 1 million shares for the average 50-day volume. So anyway, wanted to have these out on our focus. Hope you read the post tonight. A little bit about the Chinese New Year, which is coming up on the 31st. Thanks for stopping by. We'll have an update tomorrow night. This has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. Take care. Have a great Thursday.